My name is Dr. Babatunde Okewale. I'm a fellow of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists UK. I'm also a member of the British Fertility Society.
Dr. Kingsley Obodo. I'm a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist.
My name's Opiche Mary Matthias.
So I'm a Kokafo. My name is Olamomi Olorantimi.
Nurse midwife Onimanuel Titilayo Taiwo.
Dr. Ogu Emmanuel Nelson.
Bakari Fatima.
Mary Ugoje Ne Mbacho.
Over 30 years ago, I was practicing as a gynecologist in a very small town in the UK called St. Ives. It's a town that's in Cornwall, in the UK, a seaside resort kind of town, one of the most beautiful towns in the UK. And whilst I was there, the thought came that if I ever have a hospital on my own, I would name it St. Ives, because I just fell in love with that particular town. So when I came back home and we started St. Ives Hospital, the model was we were going to be bootstrapping. We're not going to loan money from the banks and the rest. So the progress was slow. Now, if you look at what I registered St. Ives Hospital as at CAC at that time, it was St. Ives Hospital, Maternity, and Infertility Center, because those were the three things I was thinking about when I was coming home. We quickly achieved the first two parts of that registration. That's the hospital and maternity, because in any case, I'm a gynecologist, so I could easily do that. But the infertility part was a bit more difficult, because there's no way you operate as a fertility specialist without going the whole hog, which is IVF. And unfortunately, because we were, fortunately or unfortunately, because looking back now, it's fortunate, because we were bootstrapping, to set up an IVF lab is it's pretty difficult. So it took us long, and it took like another 10 years after I'd already been here, that we could gather all the savings and all whatnot together to set up the IVF lab. It was a big milestone for me because it achieved the third part of the agenda. We had an hospital, we had a maternity home. The infertility, now we could do it to the highest level. But that was not only that, and that was around 2007 that we finally set up. At our very first treatment cycle, we got people pregnant, the very first. And within a year, that was 2008, within a year of that treatment, we had our very first IVF baby. So that was a big validation for me that yes, you did the right thing and you're on the right path. So it stands out in the journey of St. Ives.
I've worked in St. Ives here for the past 20 years. I'm a nurse in St. Ives Hospital.
I've been in St. Ives for over 15 years. I worked as a general nurse in the general department. Over time, I grew to a role of IVF coordinator. Is that not wonderful?
My journey started on the 5th of January 2015. When I joined, I was willing to learn and contribute to the hospital's vision. So it has been an amazing journey of growth, learning, service, working with dedicated and compassionate colleagues in order to provide safe and quality patient care.
I've been in St. Ives 18 years. I came into St. Ives Specialist Hospital as a nurse, but as of today, I'm a fertility nurse with the help of St. Ives.
Morgan Happiness. I am the front desk officer for St. Ives Ikoyi. I've been with St. Ives over 14 years.
St. Ives has really helped me to improve in my profession, develop my skills. They made me what I am today by training me to ensure that St. Ives grows better.
In fact, the most important thing that made me to stay back here in St. Ives Hospital is when I had accidents in the year 2010. I was hospitalized for 6 months. I didn't work. And Dr. Tunde Okewale, my CMD, paid my hospital bill and still paid me salary for over 1 year without me working. So with that, I said, no, he's a man. This hospital is a real family and it's a place to work.
My antenatals and my delivery was free.
The first experience I had with St. Ives was the IVF experience. When Ikoyi branch kicked off, started with IVF promos. And that added to my experience in the sense that most of the IVF procedures or what we knew about IVF was theoretical. But I had the privilege to witness and experience it practically.
I've been in St. Ives for 12 years and the journey has been wonderful. I work with the procurement department of St. Ives Hospital.
In fact, I really appreciate my boss, Dr. Babatunde Okewale. I think in year 2016, he called me personally to let me know that he's entrusting something into me and I'm going in there to represent him. So I was shocked to have, out of all those people, he singled me out to do that. And also being able to, transit from a lower rank to a higher rank. Then I was being called a staff nurse, but here I am today. I'm a chief nursing officer of a branch.
I started having issues with myself. I was like, I don't know how to go about this issue. So I talked to Dr. Nduboka, Dr. Nduboka was like, okay, don't worry, we'll do it this way, or it's about surgery. And I know it's the surgery that even if I want to do it, I don't think I will have the funds or the money for that. So, but in St. Ives, they did it for me free. I did not take that one for granted.
There are a lot of big moments in St. Ives. I've witnessed a lot of big moments, personal big moments. So when I came into St. Ives, I did not have a plan of staying for this long. So I just came out fresh from house job at Lagos University Teaching Hospital. So when I joined St. Ives, I made him known to the MD of blessed memory that I was going to go for my service. So he said I could go. So St. Ives gave me the privilege of serving and working, which is basically not obtainable in some facilities. So they gave me that privilege. It was a personal thing for me. And not just that, being in St. Ives has given me, just to mention a few, I've had up to 5 different certificates acquired while working with St. Ives, and St. Ives paid for all of them. I think the recent one was the one in February, 4 different certificates in February. St. Ives sponsored and paid for all of them. So that's a personal big growth moment for me. And there's also some other ones where you see patients come into the hospital, plucking the patient, you find that this patient has not conceived in the past since marriage, 10 years, 15 years, and then boom, they're doing IVF, they're coming for confirmatory scan, confirmatory test, and it's positive. And then you watch them come for their antenatal week after week, month after month. And when they came in, just the husband and the wife. And then they're going out, the husband, the wife, and twins. So it's been a lot of amazing moments in St. Ives. Very interesting moments.
It's about me. 2 or 3 months ago, I was seriously sick that I had to do a surgery. So I was taken to a general hospital and they told me that the surgery is really going to cost millions of naira. So I was like, where are we going to get these millions of naira from? And I said, well, I had to take it off my mind because I don't really want to think about it. So I was surprised when I got a call because I didn't really inform my supervisor. But I only just told a little about it to Stephanie, my supervisor. So I think the next day or Saturday, it was on Saturday when JHR called me and said, you see, I learned you've been sick and you need to do a surgery. I said, yes. Chairman said that you have to go and do the surgery now. I was like, Chairman said. I said, JHR, the surgery is like 3 million. He said, yes. Chairman said he's going to pay for all the surgery, that you have to go and do the surgery now. In fact, that day I cried because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting that from him because I had already told the doctor that, maybe I'll do the surgery too. The doctor was telling me, no, this thing can't wait for 2 months. You have to get the surgery immediately. So when GHR called me that Dr. Okewale said he's going to pay for the surgery, I was like, is he half? He said, full, that you have to go and get the surgery immediately. That was a memorable thing I will never forget. And I'm so happy I did the surgery and I'm fine today.
My journey with St. Ives was a memorable one. I was happy getting into this place. When you talk about what made me stay back up till this year, the family I met there, my colleagues, they welcomed me very well. The chairman was always around everyone, no matter what.
I've been working with St. Ives for the past 3 years, and it's been 3 years of wonderful experience. It's been from one growth to the other. St. Ives has been an amazing place to work, yes.
Then we were at Araromi. So from there, we had an apartment, a duplex in number 90 of Baby. From there, I got married. I had my 3 kills in St. Ives.
There are quite many, but one stands out in particular in recent years. There was this lady. She came from the UK. She was 54 years old. She had 6 IVF cycles in the UK and in many centers abroad, and they all failed. And somebody told her, give Nigeria a try, and being specific, they said, go to St. Ives. She reluctantly came because she was really discouraged of all that had happened over the years for her. I remember seeing her in this consulting room when she came, as if she was dragged. She wanted to fulfill all righteousness because of the person that asked her to come. And we spoke, and she decided that we would go ahead with the IVF. And lo and behold, at the very first attempt, not only that she got pregnant, she did the pregnancy test, it was positive, and we said, well, you can travel back and do the subsequent scan when you get to the UK. We were pleasantly surprised when she called back that it was triplet. She had a triplet. She had been trying for decades. I mean, if I said she's 54 years old, so you can imagine since when she got married and she had been trying. And she had a triplet, baby boys who are doing very well now. But the most amazing part of her story is not that she had the triplet, not that God answered her prayer, but she found her true purpose in life after that incident. So went back to school to become a nurse at 54. And she presently is a well-known fertility advocate, counseling thousands of women worldwide, brilliantly on her journey, giving hope and the rest. So God gave her the triplet, and she also found a real purpose in life. So that stands out amongst many others. Yeah,
I think they are numerous. You understand? One of our motto here is success-oriented team. The success that you get, the joy you bring to family, and they are so numerous. I mentioned earlier on the 67-year-old who got pregnant for the first time and had a baby. Even after that, we also had a 69-year-old who had a set of twins, okay, which is still, as of this present, is the oldest IVF mom in Nigeria, only beaten by the one in, is it Congo or thereabout, who is about 72 years old. So many. The joy you bring, when you see people coming in, oh, thank God for St. Ives, thank God for what you've done for my family and all that. So it's actually quite touching, and it gives you a fulfilling that, yes, you've done what God has enabled you to do.
Okay, a lot of things keeps St. Ives outstanding out there. So St. Ives is not a hospital you go to and then the staffs are stagnant. No, there's a lot of trainings that go on in St. Ives for staffs, for all the staffs. If there are new innovations, new technologies, St. Ives is always one of the few first hospitals to embrace it. St. Ives makes sure that their staffs are not outdated with information, because medicine is evolving. So St. Ives also try to make sure that their staffs are evolving, their staffs are up to date with the standard protocols out there. So they make sure that the staffs are well trained, routinely. When I mean routinely, St. Ives train their staffs on the latest technologies. I think currently now we have a 4D ultrasound that gives you a live image of things. So St. Ives is really outstanding in training and making sure that their staffs are up to date. And then if you're up to date, that means you can give the best of care. So if you're entrusting your health to St. Ives, that is, you're entrusting your health to a standard operating hospital where you know that once you come, you're getting nothing but the standard. St. Ives don't compromise with standard. If it's not standard, it's not St. Ives. It's from the building to the staffs to the management, to even non-medical staffs. Just like the ambulance service. The ambulance service is, I think I followed the ambulance to one event in Eco Hotel where St. Ives Hospital gave the ambulance as and medical team. So we were there on standby. So a lot of services that St. Ives gives that are top notch. And when we got there after the program, I think the organizers approached us and told us that it was nice working with us because the service was top notch. And that's what we do at St. Ives. We give top notch services, world-class services. Whatever is obtainable in the world, like in sophisticated hospitals outside Nigeria, is obtainable in St. Ives.
I believe St. Ives is special because we do our thing the normal way. Not that we don't have challenges, but whenever we have challenges, we know how to tackle it, how to deal with it. We've been special anyway.
It's like a home to me. And seeing St. Ives, cutting away with, let me use that word, with series of awards from different, companies, best in this, best in that. Oh, anybody asking me, where do you work, ma? Oh, with pride. Like, I work in St. Ives Specialist Hospital.
Basically, there are 4 core values that we, from beginning, we followed and we still follow till now. The first is patient care. We're a very patient-centric hospital. We like to explain things properly to patients. We would love to we listen carefully, and we individualize care for patients. So patient-centered care, that's number one. The second is our clinical integrity. We try and do the right procedure at the right time and for the right purpose. Fourth thing is respect. We respect all our clients, respect all our members of staff, irrespective of status. So respect is very high in our values, you know. And finally, continuous improvement. If you are a St. Ives client that saw us grow over the year, you would know that each year there's something happening. We don't play with training of our staffs. We don't play with renewal of our equipment, of our facilities. So it's a continuous process and continuous improvement in the whole setup. So those four things guide us, and they are things that have really helped us. And it's quite, one is quite happy each time patients come and say, I was here last year, you people have done this again, you've done that again, you've opened another department, you've opened another branch, you know, we saw your members of staff in Europe for one training or the other. So those are the core things we've always been following. Well, what can one say but thank you? First of all, one wants to thank God for His mercies, for His grace, for His faithfulness over that 30 years. Rarely would you see an establishment that's been bootstrapping for 30 years and still on the growth path. So we're very grateful for that. It's not by anything special we've done, not by our might, not by our strength, but by His mercies. Secondly, we would like to thank all our numerous clients over the years for being patient with us. I mean, they are patient, but they are also being patient with us. A lot of them saw the growth, and we are still growing. They've been very patient. They've believed in us, and they've trusted their care into our hands. So we are very grateful for that. And for the many numerous members of staff over the last 30 years. A lot of them have started their own thing. Some have traveled and the rest. I want to tell them that St. Ives, you are St. Ives. They are the real St. Ives, because without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. So a big thank you. So it's just a big thank you all around.
We'll keep growing from strength to strength. We'll keep growing from grace to grace. So believe in God, so believe in what we can do for St. Ives, and with the new innovation, with the heart to serve, the heart to give a selfless service to the people around, that will keep growing.
St. Ives would continue to prosper. They will continue to impact.
One, I wish St. Ives a big win, especially to my mentor, Dr. Tunde Okewale, who has stand by me and who made me a leader I am today. I wish them a big win. I pray that God Almighty will keep on to expand St. Ives, will keep on helping us to put smiles on people's face.
To my colleagues, they should all still work hard. Teamwork, very, very important. Supporting the vision of the organization.
30 years, I want to wish St. Ives a more prosperous years ahead. By the grace of God, St. Ives will celebrate centenary. I wish you the very best, and I pray that God will continue to be with the management, the staff, and especially the chairman. Congratulations, St. Ives.
And also to our partner, I really appreciate them, and I still want to believe they will still continue partnering with us, trusting us the more. So, and once again, I say happy 30th anniversary and thank you to everyone.
Truthfully, the future looks so bright for me, for St. Ives, for Nigeria in particular, despite what we are going through. For St. Ives, I see St. Ives in the future as a hospital where there are leaders in women health, family health care, children health care, and fertility care, not only in Nigeria, across West Africa. So we are still going to be expanding both physically and electronically. That is through telemedicine. Our physical expansion will not stop, and it will not end with me, because it's part of the mandate, as one would say, that St. Ives was set up for. As we speak, we have 5 hospitals. In not too very long to come. I'm sure we are going to expand to 8 branches. So physically, we are going to expand be all over Lagos, Southwest, Nigeria eventually. And newer things are going to be coming out as God gives us wisdom. For example, very soon we will be introducing what we call urgent care services in Nigeria because we've seen that there is a gap in the primary healthcare services in Nigeria, especially as being run by private hospitals. So we'll be within this year launching about 3 different urgent care clinics across Lagos and Ogun State. One will be Eco Atlantic. The name of the urgent care, I think I can safely say it is going to be called Swift Med Urgent Care Clinic. And the whole idea is within 15 minutes, you see a doctor. You don't have to wait all day in the hospital. And within an hour, you've had your lab test done. You've done x-ray if it is necessary. You've collected your drugs for simple illnesses. You don't have to spend 4-5 hours in a hospital waiting to see a doctor. So that's the model. We will continue growing and we'll continue expanding. And that's the future I see. And as we are doing that, I'm also very conscious of succession and legacy. Because 30 years, in 30 years' time, there will be no doctors moving this mandate forward. Many years from now, when I have stepped aside, I can see future generations saying, here was a hospital that transcended its original founder and is a world-class leader in women, children, family, and fertility care. I mean, that would be okay for me 50 years from now. This legacy is still standing and being pushed further into the next generation.